Well, actually, the music was inspired by the film. So the film was the genesis.
Okay.
And the idea, the story was inspired by an incident that had happened to me a couple of years ago, loosely inspired. And, I went through something kind of a little traumatic, performing and losing my voice in front of 80,000 people. And then quickly found out that it wasn't a physical injury, but a psychological injury. And yeah, that ended up kind of being the foundation of the tone of the film, really psychological.
What drew me to the story was meeting Abel and hearing what happened to him and his ideas for this movie and liking the guy, just like really hitting it off and feeling connected to him. And then yeah, I just got crazy inspired. I think too, playing with subjectivity and headspace and what's real and what's not and dream logic. That was all very exciting because I already make subjective films, and every choice I make in a movie is to put the audience in the main character's headspace and make them feel how they feel. So I think you can naturally push things far if that's being honest to their headspace and emotion and soul in the film. So I think all of those things kind of came together and got me really, really excited about this.
I think she represents the feminine piece of Abel's brain, kind of a bit that maybe his musical persona doesn't touch on as much, but is still obviously a huge part of any individual. Annie is very emotional and sensitive and in tune with Abel, and she sees that she's hurting, and she's hurting too because of him, so it's this weird kind of intertwined, almost persona-esque, just two becoming one, or two are already one. So it's definitely, her piece is strictly psychological, I would say.
Honestly, it never really felt like I was playing myself. When I pitched the idea to Trey, I asked him if he can see himself in the script, and that was really important for us. So, I was lucky enough for him to accept it, and we kind of traded traumas, and it was kind of like a therapy session between us. And it ended up being an actual fictional character, loosely based on, a reality, but the film felt like a character I had to study and understand and kind of just put on this costume and then by the end of it, take it off. But it was cathartic. It did feel personal, but I didn't feel like I was playing myself.
For me, it was just really organic. I said it earlier, but like it just started with meeting each other, liking each other, hitting it off, and having like-minded taste and like-minded ideas and supporting those ideas and building it up. So it started at the writing stage, and it just pushed that way through production and post and everything. And I don't know. I just love to, I said it earlier, but like Abel's like me, like he doesn't want to just like settle for something, like let's just settle for the first version or something. Like he wants to push and push and push and make something the best it can be. And that went from his character, it went to the film, it went to the music, it went to everything we did together. So yeah.
No, that's a good point. Honestly, I felt like we were challenging each other, and the whole time I'm thinking, well, we're making something experimental, something ambitious, that hopefully this can challenge the audience. And it just, it's just what it felt like. It just felt like we were pushing each other, and Jenna was pushing, and it just felt like a real, giant therapy session in the best way possible.
Everybody was just so innovative and creative, and a lot of the shots that we were doing were unlike anything I've ever done before, so it just was incredibly exciting and thrilling. And Abel was so vulnerable in this film. It was so easy to work alongside of him because, I don't know, it's just, it was a good, fortunate connection thing where I didn't really feel like we had to struggle with any sort of chemistry. He's just a very warm person, and it was easy, and it was good, and it was, I'm really grateful for that time.
Yes, vice versa, same thing, of course. But again, she is a master at her craft, and I was kind of like a, little amateur actor. So what I noticed about her is that she's really patient, very patient, and cares about the scene, cared about my performance just as much as her own performance. And she cares about the writing, and she had incredible ideas. And it just really felt like a really, truly honest collaboration. That's what it really felt like. It felt like this was all of us.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of Trey's for a while.
Don't know where to go.
I was like, no, I was a huge fan of Trey's work for years, and especially his film Waves. It was very it wasn't a musical, but it was very musical.
Yeah.
Music was such a important character. So when Reza and I were coming up with the concept, the only person we could think of the entire time was Trey, because I knew I can trust him with music.
Yeah.
And the music in our film is such a massive character that we were able to, adjust it. I could send him demos, rough ideas, unfinished records, references that he would implement into the script. And another, cheat code with Trey is that he's an editor. So he's already hearing and seeing how the film's gonna look. So there was a lot of trust there. I can focus on being in front of the camera and later on working on the music and him implementing it masterfully.
Thank you.
You're a genius.
But I agree, and I just love the way Abel handled it, because he didn't come to me and he was like, "Here's my album, now make a movie out of
No.
it." It was organic. He got that right from the get-go, and it was always organic. And after our first meeting, we got on the phone. He sent me some music, rough demos and stuff, and creative juices started flowing. And then the whole process kept going that way to where, I feel like integrating a movie and an album could be a gimmicky, forced thing, but it never became that. It was always organic, and each bounced off of each other and evolved together in a fluid, beautiful way. So, yeah, I was just grateful for getting to do it that way. It was a very special experience.
No, it was a great experience. It was a joy.
For me, I like going on a ride with a movie. You know what I mean? I like when a movie's evolving in front of me, and I can't necessarily, I don't know where it's going. It's not spoon feeding me. So that from the get go, I just like going on a journey with a movie and discovering new stuff as it's happening. And I think molding all of that together in an organic way and not letting it be sloppy is being honest to the main characters. Being honest to their soul and their perspective and their headspace, and you stay true to that and ride that. And to me, hopefully, you get a very special experience.
I don't know what I hope that they're feeling, but I truly can say from the friends and family that have seen it, from my experience working on it, anybody that I know that have seen this film, while their lifestyles or their lives or their experiences may be very different to Abel's, they can't help but resonate with that feeling. And we all know what it's like to feel lost. We all know what it's like to be scared of the future, to lose trust within yourself very quickly. So it's a very emotional film, and I hope that people are able to resonate with that side of themselves and allow themselves to, kind of open up and open up to the film.